David here is preparing our spare ribs for rubbing, and then we'll put them in the smokehouse. David, can you show John how you take the membrane off that?
Absolutely.
Go to town, David.
He takes an oyster knife and some paper
Got
towel.
that, and then usually it's easiest to get towards the end, about second bone in, and you stick it underneath that membrane and kind of work it up a little bit, and then you grab your paper towel because it's really slippery.
Yeah.
You grab that and then you just rip it off, and sometimes it doesn't all come off in one.
And the reason we do that is, one, it's not, some joints don't do it, but it gives a better mouth feel if that membrane is not there.
Yeah.
Also, we get better smoke penetration and better absorption of our seasoning as well. Look pretty good, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Smell good too, don't they?
Yeah, they smell incredible.
Barbecue, at least Kansas City style and Texas style, and in the Carolinas, it's low temperature, indirect heat. And over a long period of time at low temperatures, that fat will render out without losing your tenderness. You get a lot of penetration of smoke and a lot of absorption of the seasonings into the meat over that long period of time. A lot of caramelization, but not burning. And so you just maximize the flavors and the tenderness, but you've got to do it long and slow. Barbecue takes a lot of patience. And,
Which I'm learning to have. I'm learning it throughout my age.
So let's keep on going to our second smokehouse where we might see some good things happening.
I'm sure we will. Thank you. A little bit bigger.
Yeah. We've got 6 smokers this place. We've got pork butts cooling here. Will we be pulling those anytime soon? Or?
Actually, yeah, I'm getting ready to start.
Are you really? Excellent. Let's
Let him do his thing.
yeah, let him do his thing. It's fun to watch.
Cool.
This is Nathan.
Hey, Nathan.
Hi,
Pork butts smoke for about 17 hours. And this actually, we call them butts, but they're not from the butt of the animal. They're from the shoulder of the hog. And they weigh about, 8 pounds each. And we season those up.
average case is
Yeah.
about 75, 85 pounds, so yeah.
Get your workout in, man.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely.
What Nathan's about to do is he'll take the bone fragment out,
It's right here.
and then the whole bone, and take some of the meat off.
Oh, that looks
Right,
good.
it just comes right out.
Right. What we don't do is we don't shred it and chop it like they do in North Carolina, for example. We
It's a drier muscle, we don't use it.
yeah, we don't we use that in other applications, in other menu items. But we try to preserve as much of the fat as we can, because eventually we'll squeeze that out over the meat.
I always like the fat.
Yeah,
and then all the meat I eat, I do.
Well, there's a lot of, that's where the seasoning is too, is on top of that fat.
Sure.
And in that fat.
And I love the skin too.
Exactly.
A little piece of cartilage you gotta take out. Usually we cut it out.
So we
looks
just
so
section
tender.
that off as opposed to pulling it and shredding it. And then we'll wrap those up in about 2-pound bundles and keep those, at the ready for service. So that's what that process looks like.
So then what does this go into? Like, what do you do with the rest of this?
That'll go into sandwiches.
Yum.
Yep, that'll go into sandwiches.
Have a little small. Try to leave in big pieces so that by the time it gets back to the surface, it's still moist.
Sure.
And that's the whole idea behind wrapping it in plastic, is to just retain as much of the moisture as possible until it's ready to serve.
Smells so good.
And what's interesting is that America's first barbecue was pork. The early colonists that came here from Europe, in the second, third, and after, waves of settlers, they brought hogs with them because they were hardy animals. They survived the trip over from Europe.
Right.
and they also were low maintenance. They didn't require a lot of maintenance once they were here. You could basically let them loose in a grove of trees. They'd eat acorns. They'd eat almost anything.
Sure.
They'd eat waste, and they'd fatten up nicely without a whole lot of work. And then, by cooking them slowly over, low coal, hardwood coals, dousing them with lots of vinegar, salt, pepper, hot peppers, those would have a preservative effect, as well as the smoke would have a preservative effect, and that meat would keep for a much longer period of time than if you just cooked it. And so that was basically America's first barbecue, was pork, cooked over hardwood coals. Interestingly enough, though, it didn't really catch on in the Midwest for quite a while. It kind of stayed in the South. We were one of the first to introduce pulled pork into the kind of Kansas City canon of barbecue, if you will. And now, of course, everybody's got it.
Everywhere.
But some people did do chopped pork or sliced pork, but we're the first to do it kind of Carolina style.
So do you guys go to the tailgate parties? Do you bring a smoker to tailgate parties at the
We don't,
stadiums?
but if you go to Kansas Cityans do in general, if you go to Arrowhead Stadium on a Sunday, you'll see a lot of smokers.
I bet.
And the guys who are pulling smokers behind their rigs, they'll get there early. In fact, sometimes they'll get there the night before to start cooking their barbecue.
Oof.
So it's just, if you don't know about barbecue, eventually, they'll revoke your Kansas City citizenship, and you got to move somewhere else.
Get out.
That's right. Get out of town.